Hello students. So today in the chapter conservation of plants and animals, after 5 lectures, now we are very much aware of that we are we should be careful for the extinct animals, right? And plants also. So we have to save the plants and animals until unless we cannot preserve our ecosystem. So here in this lecture, we will discuss the how to control the global warming, because the global warming is a very alarming thing which are harmful for the plants and animals. So here we will study the control of global warming. The control of global warming. Okay? Global warming, because we have studied a lot of causes of global warming. Now first thing, if there is something happens, so at that time first we have to find out the causes so that we can check the causes, right? So what are the steps we are going to take, that we will elaborate in this lecture, that the causes of the global warming we know, now we have to control. Now, how can we control the global warming? Just a minute. Here, just a minute, please let me take the pen. Okay. So, the release of, we know that the global warming, first thing is due to the deforestation. Second is the industrialization. Then agriculture. Then pollution, due to vehicles, due to pesticides, the water pollution, and another thing, that is deforestation, industrialization, agriculture, pollution, and another thing is that population. Okay, these are the different reasons for the global warming causes. Now we have to, first thing we have to do one thing, because from industrialization, deforestation process, and also pollution, this causes the increase in carbon dioxide, CO2, and carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. That is the major cause of the global warming. So this CO2 percentage, first we have to control this one. Now here what we have to do, that it can be reduced by setting a high price of carbon and increasing the biofuels, because now we are using diesel and we are using petrol and so many other, also we are also using wood somewhere, and we are using coal. So if we are using biofuels, at that time we can reduce the production of the carbon dioxide, right? And we can use of the renewable energy like solar energy, we can use wind energy, we can use, because they do not have any other bad effect on the atmosphere. And we can safeguard the forest also, that we can the vehicle also, we can change the fuel of the vehicle, required fuel of the vehicle, like biofuel also we can use. Also another thing we can do, that is a electric vehicle. Okay, so I am telling you what is biofuel. First, the biofuel is a fuel that is produced over a short time span from the biomass. And here in this very slow natural process, this one, and involved in the formation of fossil fuels such as oil, since biomass can be used as a fuel directly, some people use the words biomass or biofuel interchangeably. So biofuel, we can use the bio, using the bio, from the biomass we can get the biofuel. Okay. So, and what we can use, that solar and wind power also we can use, because the solar energy we may convert it into electric energy, and we can store it in the battery, and we can use the solar energy. Wind energy also we can use. Another thing we can use that has not been mentioned here, that is the hydro energy. Hydro energy, like hydro turbine, this type of, that means water turbine, this type of energy we can use also. Okay. And also also we can use the sea level. You know that there is the sea level variations also there. We can use that thing also. So that we can use the lot of other alternatives. That means we have to find out at any cost. We have to find out other alternatives. Until unless we will not be safe. Okay. So main causes are deforestation, industrialization, agriculture, pollution and population. Okay. So for these reasons, we are just causing the global warming. Now it is the time to check the global warming. So how to check the global warming? First thing, we have to reduce the amount of machineries which emits or which releases more amount of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. Another thing, that the high price of the carbon, make it high price of the carbon, so no one will do that thing. And biofuels you can use, solar energy you can use, wind energy you can use, some hydro electricity you can use, right? Some hydroelectricity you can use. Here in this here, that we have to make the world more greener. That is one thing. We have to make the more greener, more plantation we require, because the deforestation we have done already, because whatever we have done, that cannot be rectified. But now we can rectify a little bit by using a greener place, and we can plant, using the plantation campaign, and also the plantation also we have to do. And recycling of the paper. So paper we are using, and whatever the email and whatever other Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, all these things we are doing now. But this is the digital medium we are using. But instead of digital medium, it has been seen that the requirement of the paper, that has not been decreased, because generally in office purposes we can use the email and other digital medium also we can use. But in the student life we have to use the paper, right? So the recycling of the paper that we require, because the paper that is produced from the wood pulp and by the paper industry. So this wood pulp paper that will be produced by the wood pulp, and you can see that the wood, that is a scarcity in the wood after certain time. So what we have to do, we have to recycle paper. And this is very easy. Now what is recycling? That means whatever you are throwing, that means dustbin, whatever you are throwing in the dustbin, you just recycle it. Recycling, that is defined as a process of converting waste and non-useful products into new and useful products for human use. So recycling, that is defined as a process of converting waste and non-useful products to the useful one and new one. Recycling also helps in monitoring the air, land and water pollution. So water pollution will be less, water pollution will be less, air pollution will be less, land pollution will be less. Okay, so that is the what recycling. And we have to think positive, and we have to the materials to be recycled, and fun activities. Also we are doing the fun activities in our school life. Go green, this campaign, this should be, you should maintain this thing. Go green. Cleaning the environment, processing the used materials into new. These are the important thing of the recycling. Now paper is the most widely used material in the today's world, and every year 400 million metric ton. Just a minute. Wait. I have cut it. So every year over 400 million metric ton of paper and its products are produced globally. Bamboo, cotton, hemp, jute and a wide range of other plant materials like wood pulp and fibers are used for making papers. So for making papers, bamboo, cotton, hemp, jute and other wide range of wood pulp. Other wood pulp also we are using. So we have to reduce this one. A single tree is used, is used to produce 800 sheets of paper. So we have to reduce the use of the paper, as well as we have to think about the recycling of the paper, and recycling of the paper, that is very, very easy step. Now recycling of the paper. Paper is considered to be both major constituent of solid waste. 50% of the total garbage is the paper. Now to fulfill the demand for the proper and protect our environment, we have to recycle the paper, and paper material we can recycle it with very easy process. That process I am going to discuss here. Step 1. Papers are collected from the dustbins and are deposited in a large recycling container. So first thing, I have to collect from every home. They are collecting all the paper materials, right? The materials, it may be packets, it may be like boards, it may be like other unstripped books, like all those things. So they are collecting all the papers from the dustbins. So one request to all of you, please don't throw the paper in a dustbin which has non-biodegradable things also, because it is very much, and also some don't any water or any liquid thing, don't put it, because if you are doing that thing, that is, the paper is not, now we cannot recycle that paper. Okay, so that's why we have to segregate the papers, and we have to collect it, then we have to deposit in a recycling container. Step 2, the recycling container are taken to the recycling plant, where the paper waste are segregated into types and grades. Okay, so according to the types and grades, it will be segregated. Then step 3, the segregated paper first are washed and with soapy water to remove the stains of ink, plastic film, staples, glue. So all these things can happen. So at that time we will not get the pure paper. So we have to remove the inks, we have to remove the plastic film, we have to remove the staples, we have to remove the glue. So that's why we are washing it with the soapy water. Now step 4. In step 4, washed papers are placed into large holder containing water and are allowed to get mixed with water to create slurry. Okay, slurry is the liquid form, semi-liquid actually, semi-liquid form. And to the created slurry, different materials are added to create new paper products such as white paper, cardboards, newspapers, etc. Okay. So because the papers are different quality also, whenever you are going to buy paper for your project work, you are taking another paper. Whenever you are trying to you are going to buy your paper for answer script, then another paper you are choosing. Whenever cardboard you require, then cardboard paper is different. So then at that time we have to prepare the slurry as per the requirement. That means the white paper, cardboard and newsprint. Okay. So what we are doing, first we are collecting all papers from bin. Not only from bin, from houses also. Right. Then what we are doing, we are washing it to remove the glue, staple, plastic films, inks, all these things. We are just going to washing it. Then we are mixing water and making slurry, and this slurry will be, from this slurry we are making white papers, we are making cardboards, we are making newsprint paper. Okay. Now step 6, that is the prepared slurry is moved or spread into a large rollers to produce large thin sheets of the papers. And step 7, the papers are allowed to dry and then rolled up, packed and then ready for use. Then according to the requirement, they are selling the paper. Okay. So in the industry, whenever the slurry will become white paper or cardboard or newsprint paper, at that time this paper slurry, the prepared slurry is moved or spread into large rollers. There will be some large rollers and it will be spread into large rollers. So it will be the slurry spread into large rollers. Then drying process will be done. Then rolled up, packed up, and then transportation for exporting or uses. Okay. Now recycling saves the energy and the natural resources like trees, forest, water. So we can recycle water also. Right. One thing, whenever there is some rainfall, at that time, please collect the water. Collect the water. We can do it in our home. Okay. Another thing, whatever the washing cloth water, that can be purified, and can be used again. Okay. So the soil pollution, water, and protect our environment by reducing the air, land, water, and soil pollution also we can reduce, and Earth's atmosphere from the decomposition of biodegradable waste and other hazardous waste also. So we, from now, what we'll do, we will segregate biodegradable waste in one bin and another non-biodegradable waste. Okay, we have to do it. So in this way you can see that we are able to save our environment. Now the reforestation. Okay, so recycling is okay, fine. I have recycling is okay. So, but another thing is that deforestation already you have done a lot. So we have to make over that thing. So how we can do it using the deforestation? Now reforestation, that is the restocking of the destroyed forest by planting new trees. So from today, you just not only on the environmental day, on the environment day, that we are going to for the plantation. We are going for the plantation process. And here we are reforestation. That means we are restocking the destroyed forest by planting new trees. So we have to plant new trees. So this is a single step you can do in your home also. Now what is reforestation? This is the process of regeneration. This is the process of regeneration or replanting of forest areas that already has been destroyed and damaged. Reforestation, that means we have to plant new trees. We have to take place to make forest also. And forests have the capability to regenerate due to the trees in surroundings and due to dispersion of seeds. So this is very nominal case, but we have to do that in our side. We have to do the best. Forest lands that are badly degraded cannot be regenerated unless the plants have been planted. So we have to put the in the forest land also, which have been badly degraded. In that places we can plant new trees, so that that soil will be safe. Okay. Now why reforestation? Obviously we have made the imbalance between carbon dioxide and oxygen percentage. We have to, there is this imbalance, there is no balance here. So there is no balance here. So what you have to do? We have to make the balance here. That's why the reforestation. Another thing, greenhouse gases. To avoid this problem, we have to do this. And huge forests we require because we have already destroyed a lot of things. We are doing the logging, we are doing mining, we are doing agriculture, we are doing some human needs also there. What we are doing, we are taking the plant for medicinal purpose or other purpose, we are taking the plant. So for all this, to avoid all these things, we have to do this. We cannot stop this thing. So simultaneously, we have to grow new plants also. Simultaneously, we have to grow the new forest, or we have to enlarge the forest area. We have to increase the forest area so that we may compensate whatever the effects of the deforestation. Now, wildlife conservation. So forest, I have told, forest is the home of animals that are wild animals. Okay, domestic animals, they can live with us, but wild animals, the forest is the main home. So we have to save the forest due to save the wildlife also. So there is a threat from the mankind indulgence, that it is important for us to conserve the forest and its wildlife. And wildlife, that is important, very, very important to maintain the balance in nature and to maintain the ecosystem in their proper place. So that's why the wildlife conservation, this is very, very important thing, because forest is the home of the wild animals. We cannot take the wild animals in our home. We can take the domestic animals. They can live with us, but the wild animals, they are so large and they need the forest to move here and there. And we have to ensure one thing, that there will be no hunting process. There should be no hunting process. They can move here and there inside the forest freely. They should not be scared. They should not be scared. Okay, so no, they should not be scared, and they should not be afraid of anything. And they should get the proper food also. How they can do it? If the predators are okay, then they can do it. So the forests are defined as the large areas of the land with trees, and these forests are the home of the wildlife. There are 800 definitions of forest, but we are not going for the definition of forest. Overall, the forests are the natural habitat of large-scale wildlife, growth of trees, shrubs, different varieties of plants, which unfortunately are dwindling every year. Hence, conservation of forest is very much required. Also, conservation of wildlife is required. If you are conserving the forest, you may able to conserve the wildlife also. So it is very, very important for the conservation of wildlife as well as the forest. Now, almost 31% of the earth land surface is covered by the forest. How much? 31% of land area, total land area, that is forest. But now it becomes less, and 23% of India's land cover consists of forest region. In the 2015, it has been reported. Trees, plants in the forest are integral part of the ecosystem, because some animals are there, they are dependent on the trees, and some animals are there, they are dependent on the tree, on the animals which are taking the plants only. Okay, so that means again the same thing will appear here. Some herbivorous, carnivorous, and also there are several kingdoms are there. Okay, there are five kingdom classification already. I think you have studied. If you have not studied, so I can say one thing, that the five kingdom are there. We have, and in this case also we can see that in the ecosystem also, if I'm just telling about ecosystem also, I can say one thing, that the ecosystem also, you can see that every species is dependent on the other species. So to save the ecosystem also, we require to save the forest, and to sustain the life on the planet, provide clean air and shelter. Forests help conserve the biodiversity. So biodiversity, save biodiversity. This is very, very important thing. Now, forests provide many resources like food, medicine, fabric, raw materials for jute, and forest will provide us food, medicine, fabric, raw materials, so many things. So we have to save the forest, we have to conserve the forest. And also it avoid also another thing, the soil erosion. The soil erosion, it will resist the soil erosion. Water level, it will resist the water level to be low. So the forest, it has several advantages, and socio-economic aspect of the country, that will be enhanced if there will be some forest, and biodiversity will be saved. That means you are saving your planet, and you are making your planet for the living beings. And wildlife, that refers to the animals, that species that are not domesticated. Already I have told this thing. Now almost all the ecosystem, the rainforest, the boreal forest, plains, grassland, deserts, these are all which is found in almost all ecosystems in these places. Now wildlife provides great stability to our environment, wherein they are involved in natural processes either directly or indirectly. And there are so many decomposers are there, consumers of decomposer we have. So they are already cleaning the vultures. They are taking the food as the dead animals, right? That means what? Decomposition. That means what? They are cleaning our environment. So why we are not going for this? Because inside the forest we cannot go for the cleaning purpose. So at that case, they are cleaning their place. So let them do that thing freely. Now, conservation of forest, this is the practice that means we have to save the forest. And we have to maintain the forest areas for sustainability for future generation. Forest areas for sustainability of future generation. And forests are very important natural resources. Already we have seen, beneficial for human being, but due to increase of deforestation activities, the forest again we have to conserve the forest. We have to reforestation process. We have to go through this one, and permanent destruction or loss of forest, that is very much dangerous thing. So we have to stop this, but we should not do that type of agriculture which will just reduce the amount of the forest. The process of destruction forest for the expansion of agricultural land is referred to as the shifting cultivation. Rotational cultivation, you do it. Don't do that thing that you have to increase the areas for the cultivating lands. You do not do this thing. You just do one thing, shifting cultivation. One season, one crop. Next season, another crop. Next season, another crop. Like that, you just go for the rotational cultivation. And some major steps we can do with the advent of industrialization. Several trees have been cut at an alarming rate for the raw material, but this felling of trees can be regulated by selecting cutting and clear cutting and shelter wood cutting. Here we can do a less demand should be there. Okay, we can replace that thing, the wood, replace that demand of the wood by another type of business. And forest fires, these are common causes of loss of forest. Forest fires, sometimes forest land is set on fire to make the land available for commercial purposes. Once cleared, there can be no vegetation. And natural forest fires are also responsible for the destruction of the forest area. We should do something for this. And forest fires are important part of ecosystem, and it helps replenish the nutrients in the soil from the dead and decaying matter. Then more trees should be planted in increase of forest. More trees, please. More trees you just increase. And prevention of exploitation of forest products is necessary for conservation of forest. And chemicals, antibiotics, this development we are doing to resist the protection from the diseases by spraying the chemicals, antibiotics, and development of pest-resistant strains of the trees. Now, wildlife conservation. Why is it necessary to save the wildlife? Why is it necessary to save our wildlife? Obviously, use values are direct values wildlife produces that can be consumed directly. Okay? And such as live cells, meat, hide, skins, trophies, education, tourism, research, activities. Indirect values are there, the ecological and environmental services associated with wildlife and its habitats such as carbon sequestration, storm protection, climate control. Another thing that is the premium placed on maintaining wildlife populations for possible future uses. Existence values also there. The intrinsic value of the wildlife regardless of the use, such as their culture, aesthetic and bequest significance. So wildlife is very, very important for our ecosystem. So several wildlife importance for their medicinal values. 1/3 of our pharmaceutical needs are catered by the wildlife. One third of the our pharmaceutical needs are catered by wild plants. Okay, wild plants. And forests provide great scope for breakthrough in the field of medical science and technology, along with requirements of the large-scale manufacture of antibiotics and other medicines for therapeutic use. So one third of our pharmaceutical needs has been fulfilled by the wild plants. So we have to save the plants, wild plants. Helps keep our environment healthy. Obviously, that oxygen and greenhouse effect, the greenhouse gases it will absorb and it will just give you the oxygen, it will absorb the carbon dioxide. Transpiration, it is another method. So due to transpiration, humidity will be maintained in the weather or in the climate. So it helps for the environment healthy. Important to maintain the ecological balance because biodiversity has been saved due to the wildlife conservation. So interdependence of plants and animals, we know that it is very essential and we should keep it. Now economical importance also we have, like fossil fuels, that now whatever the fuels we were using, that are diesel, petroleum, coal, coal, that we should not use, and we have to use the biofuels. We are going for the biofuels, and that's why we require the biomass, and that is the economical importance. The fossil fuels that obtained from the forest and help us to economic growth in the country, and it contribute for better standard of living. Then helps the preserve the biodiversity, variety of the different animals, different plants, microorganisms that should be there. So it helps to preserve the biodiversity. It helps to preserve the biodiversity. And nitrogen fixation, that will happen. And here we can see that soil fertility will increase. Soil fertility will increase if you have the forest. And soil erosion will be reduced. Now, reasons why forest and wildlife matter. Several reasons are there. One thing, without oxygen we cannot live. It gives us oxygen. Roughly 20.9% of Earth's gases consist of oxygen, and dependence on oxygen is higher, hence plants are essential. And it plays a specific and significant role in the carbon cycle by absorbing carbon dioxide during the photosynthesis. And in some home for different species, the forest is also the home for different species. Modernization has caused the deforestation, but we should not do that thing. And this led many animals to become homeless if deforestation is there. Just a minute. If deforestation will be there, many animals will be homeless. It provides the employment also. Forests provide a source of livelihood to billions of people. Raw material also we can get from the forest. So these are the forest advantages. Now forests provide the wood. Using the wood pulp we can make the paper and so many things also we can make. And also jute also can be made by this from a large cultivation of this. Now another thing, that wood serves as an important raw material, and they survive abundant resources for the forest, rescue during the natural disasters. Obviously the roots of the forest trees, they are resisting the natural disaster. They are resisting the natural disasters. That means they are not resisting the natural disasters. The effect of the natural disaster will be less. So that's why mangrove that saves us from the flood, and also they saves us from the drought also. So they are absorbing all the water of the floods. So there will be no problem in the human populated area. Okay. Now it helps to regulate the climate condition. It helps to biodiversity, to save the biodiversity, and entertainment also, because for the research purposes as well as for entertainment purposes, you just take one safari and you go in the national park or sanctuaries. So you can see a lot of animals there. So that is the entertainment purpose. Okay. So till now, thank you. Thank you very much all. In the next lecture, we'll discuss more about this.